Do you ever wish your day wasn't dictated by your health? Are you tired of being tired all the time, or is pain holding you back from enjoying your time with your family? Would you like to manage your symptoms holistically, but you just don't know where to begin? I am so excited you're here. This podcast will help you understand how natural remedies work so you can relieve your symptoms and live a fuller life. My name is Penny. I'm an occupational therapist, a past pharmaceutical rep, a mom, and a wife with a strong faith. And for 25 years, I battled through debilitating Crohn's disease. I took all the medicine and did all the surgeries that stole so much of my time with my family, but never truly healed me. I finally realized if I was going to survive this disease, I needed to open my stubborn eyes to alternative solutions. I researched how perfectly our bodies work with plants and a lifestyle that made my health less of a burden to my family and aligned so beautifully with my faith and my medical training. If you are ready to reclaim your life with holistic options that are easy to implement as a busy mom and provide relief that lasts, this is the podcast for you. Hello there. How are you today? This is episode 17. Welcome to Becoming Natural Podcast. I am your host, Penny Sampler, and I am so excited to be here today. So many fun things are moving along behind the scenes at Becoming Natural, and I am about to pop with excitement. But first and foremost, we have moved our launch event to February 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Radiant Wellness on Johnson Drive in Mission, Kansas. It's the same time and place, just a different date. If you're not local, we got slammed with Snowmageddon and we made the executive decision to push 2 weeks in order to get us moving. We kind of felt like we were all still in vacation mode because school had been canceled so much and our kids were home. But if you are local, please come, grab a friend. It'll be the official true launch of this podcast that I can't even believe has come together and is still going, even when I said there is no way I would ever do a podcast. God always does this kind of thing to me, so never say never. And we will also be launching my new and improved website that night. We will have drinks, we will have nibbles, raffles, and lots of giveaways, and even more fun. And Aubrey Hendershot, who owns Radiant Wellness, will have tours of her facility where you can see the red light sauna, get more information about what she offers there, her lymphatic drainage rooms. It'll be a great night and lots of fun. So, jumping into today's episode, number 17, is there a concern for hidden lurking dangers found in your deodorant? Okay, we're diving into a conversation here that I seem like happens all the time. It keeps us fresh and it keeps us dry and it makes us confident, but is deodorant as harmless as it seems? Whether you are loyal to your stick or you're considering going au natural, this one's for you because there is way more to the deodorant discussion than you might think. We are going to unpack the potential risks of antiperspirant, of deodorant, provide scientific studies, and look at alternatives that might be better for your health, and learn about the possible health implications of common ingredients like aluminum compounds, parabens, and phthalates, more. So let's get started. This is actually really exciting, and I learned a whole lot going down yet another rabbit hole. We need more rabbit holes. For years, I remember my husband telling me that he didn't like my having aluminum in my deodorant, and he always made sure that my boys' deodorant was aluminum-free. And it's so funny because my husband has his hills that he will die on, but I never saw the deodorant one coming. And he really wasn't adamant that I didn't use it, but he was the very first person I remember telling me that maybe I should reconsider my deodorant years ago. And then along came my dear friend Heather, who is of like minds with me. And I was mentioning this to her, and she said, "Oh yeah, I detoxed from deodorant a year ago, and it's amazing." First, I couldn't believe she did it, and I didn't know. So I was all in. If Heather did it, I should be able to do it too. So she prepared me properly, and she forewarned me of what might happen. And she even suggested some options to soothe my armpits when they felt like they were shooting fire. I could not possibly believe that it could be that bad just by not using deodorant outside of the stink that I would have to endure of myself. It was that bad. I left my faithful grocery store coconut vanilla deodorant in the dust, and Lord have mercy, I don't know how long it took, probably 1 to 2 weeks. But let's first start by saying, who knew that you had to detox from deodorant? I certainly didn't. Within at least a few days, my armpits were burning and red, and all I can say is I felt like my armpits were shooting fireballs. How in the world did I have such a crazy reaction simply by not using deodorant? I wasn't putting anything on there. I was not using it. I was having flashbacks to my exorcism, the Candida diet, where my body revolted because I was simply eating lean protein and vegetables and zero sugars. I think that was episode 2 and 3. But just by nature of what my body was doing on its own, pushing out the toxins, I supposed, on its own, I was once again completely shocked. In all, it probably took 2 weeks total for the burning to go away, for the redness to clear up from my skin. But do you know that once I got the junk out of my body, I had little to no body odor using zero deodorant? That's not what I'm asking you to do here today, so don't panic. But I'm just saying that once I got all the crud out, I didn't have the body odor. One caveat would be if you're working out, if you're sweating intentionally, yes, I got stinky, but I found that the deodorant itself was actually causing as much of the body odor as my body. So let's start with the quick physiology, of course. We have 2 different types of sweat glands in our human body. There's a certain type of glands that are found all over our bodies that produce watery, odorless sweat, primarily just to regulate our temperature. Then there are apocrine glands located in the armpits and in the groin. And these produce a thicker sweat with protein and lipids. Lipids are just fats. And they become very active after puberty. Duly noted, having endured 3 stinky junior high boys myself. But what happens here is that the bacteria on the skin breaks down the apocrine sweat and produces body odor in the process. So isn't that interesting? It's actually the bacteria breaking down the proteins and the fats that causes the stink. So, when did we first start using deodorant? That's my first question. The history of deodorant is actually an interesting blend of cultural practices, society and changes in society, and growth and innovation, and of course, the big M word, marketing. But many thousands of years ago, over 3,000 years BC, Egyptians were the first to address their body odor. They bathed frequently. They used oils made from herbs and flowers to mask the odor. In ancient Rome and Greece, public bathhouses were central to hygiene. India and China also used natural remedies to combat body odor. So this isn't anything new that we're working on our body odor. However, the first commercial deodorant was patented in 1888, thousands of years later, in Philadelphia, called MUM, M-U-M. And can I say, of course, it was patented, and of course, it was patented in the United States? Wink, wink. It was a cream applied by hand under the arms. This targeted odor rather than sweat, using antibacterial ingredients to kill odor-causing bacteria like triclosan or alcohol. So while deodorant and antiperspirant are often used interchangeably, it's important to point out that they serve different purposes. Deodorants are designed to mask or eliminate body odor caused by bacteria, while antiperspirants are formulated to reduce sweating by blocking sweat glands. So deodorants, they work on the odor. Antiperspirants block the sweat glands. So most commercial antiperspirants contain aluminum-based compounds such as aluminum chloride or aluminum zirconium. These compounds are what may stop you from sweating by temporarily plugging the sweat ducts. It's kind of gross if you think about it. This is why many more of the women's deodorants have antiperspirant in them as well. I guess men were, it's okay for them to sweat, but we as women can't sweat. But I have noticed truly an increase in men's deodorants having antiperspirant in them as well as I shop for my children as well. The first antiperspirant was introduced in 1903 using aluminum chloride to reduce sweating by blocking the sweat glands from producing sweat. Even in 1903, there was concern with the harshness of using aluminum chloride on the skin because it was such a harsh chemical. But guess what? in comes the stealthy marketers, and they blew up marketing to women in the 1920s, emphasizing societal pressures to be fresh and to be clean. Their ads emphasized body odor as socially unacceptable and linking the fresh and clean to their measure of femininity. Fun fact, odorono, which is kind of funny, Odorono, so odor-ono, I guess, was one of the first roll-on antiperspirants. And it was inspired, what I think is so interesting, by the ballpoint pen technology. So that's how the roll-on came into being, is mimicking the ballpoint pen. Fun fact. Marketing virtually ignored men until the 30s to the 50s, that 20-year area, when brands realized, oh my gosh, 50% of the population is a completely untapped market. We need their money. So in the 50s, men-specific deodorants like good Old Spice emerged. So what's the big deal? Let's get to the science behind the most common concerns, which number one is their ingredients. So we're going to go through a couple ingredients here with some science to back it up. But the first obvious ingredient that everybody talks about is aluminum exposure. Studies have raised many questions about the long-term use of aluminum-based compounds in antiperspirants. One study found that aluminum compounds can accumulate in the body and possibly affect the nervous system, which has led to theories suggesting a possible link between aluminum exposure and conditions like Alzheimer's disease. I just all of a sudden feel like I need to remind y'all that I am not a doctor and that I'm just gathering information and that. So the American Cancer Society has addressed concerns about the link between aluminum-based antiperspirants and breast cancer, while some studies have suggested that aluminum may mimic estrogen, actually, which is a hormone involved in breast cancer development. No definitive link has been established, just to say that. Let's just expand on that a tad. Aluminum makes a gel-like plug to block the sweat glands, but it doesn't just block sweat. It also interferes with the natural detoxification process of your underarms. We were built to sweat for a reason. God didn't make a mistake when he made our armpits sweat, right? So over time, if we're not sweating through our armpits, it can lead to a buildup of toxins. And think about it anatomically, what's right near our armpits? Our lymph nodes. So I think that we were beautifully and perfectly designed to sweat out our lymph nodes out our armpits, but that's just my humble opinion. So over time, if you're blocking the release of these toxins, some people believe that it contributes to long-term health risks. And for those with sensitive skin, aluminum can cause redness, burning, and irritation, especially after shaving or during a detox period. Another concerning ingredient in antiperspirant and deodorant would be parabens that were added in the 50s as a preservative. We hear paraben-free all the time now. Parabens are preservatives that help prevent the growth of bacteria and mold, but they've raised concerns due to their potential to disrupt endocrine function. Ding, ding, ding. Endocrine, hormone, thyroid, that's what I'm pursuing at all times. Parabens can mimic estrogen, potentially affecting hormone levels, fertility, and even increasing the risk of certain cancers. In a 2004 study, parabens were found in breast tissue samples from women with breast cancer. This has led some experts to warn against using products with parabens. Many brands are now opting for paraben-free labels in response to a growing consumer demand for cleaner, safer alternatives. Another ingredient of concern is triclosan. That came in the 1970s. It is an antibacterial agent that became common in deodorants, but was later scrutinized for its effects on thyroid function and bacterial resistance. Then there's fragrance. A lot of people love a good-smelling deodorant, but synthetic fragrances can sometimes contain phthalates, which are another potential endocrine disruptor. Plus, they're a common cause of skin irritation, especially for those with sensitive skin. There's alcohol, which is frequently used for its antibacterial properties, but it can also dry and irritate skin that's already dry and irritated. Propylene glycol, a humectant, Do you know what a humectant is? It is something that is used to keep things moist. So keeping your deodorant kind of moist so it's not dry and crumbly. That can irritate sensitive skin and has been linked to potential toxicity at high doses. We've talked about propylene glycol before. Talc, sometimes used for its moisture-absorbing properties, talc can actually be contaminated with asbestos if not properly processed, which takes me back to always, 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 no matter what you put in your body, all around you, the best that you can, find out where the source of what you're putting on your body. It doesn't matter if it's an oil. It doesn't matter if you're putting it in your mouth or on your skin. You always want to find the most organic, USDA certified product that you can find because you don't know what you're getting. It's hard to be perfect, but the better we do, the safer we are. Skin irritations are often overlooked from all the previously mentioned ingredients. Some people experience rashes, redness, or burning sensations after applying antiperspirant. This could be due to the high concentration of the active ingredients like aluminum, the fragrances, the alcohol, or the kind of formulation that that specific product has. In 2018, a study published in Dermatitis found that many antiperspirants caused contact dermatitis, which is a form of skin inflammation. Itis equals inflammation, remember that, particularly in individuals with sensitive skin. And finally, what is the systemic effect? What happens to your entire body when your underarms consistently absorb the previously mentioned ingredients? Certain chemicals in deodorants and antiperspirants can penetrate the skin and enter the bloodstream. So over time, this accumulation may affect hormonal regulation and contribute to the toxic overload in sensitive individuals. It can also interfere with your lymphatic system, which, as I mentioned before, it is the sewage system in our bodies. It is responsible for getting all the toxins out of our body. If our plumbing backs up in our house, we fix it immediately. So what about if the plumbing backs up in our bodies? We ignore it. Our lymph nodes swell, or we notice things are out of whack. We're not educated to know what we're supposed to do or how to do it. Which, side note, that's what I'm so excited about my podcast with Aubrey on our launch day. That's what we're going to be talking about is the lymphatic system. It's amazing. So back to this, sweat glands are located near the lymph nodes, just like I said before, particularly in the armpits. Blocking sweat may prevent the lymphatic system from efficiently flushing out our toxins, potentially causing a myriad of harmful effects in our entire body, not just localized to our armpits. We could have, aluminum traveling throughout our body and our blood, and we get metal toxicity. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out. But anything you put on your body, our skin is our largest organ. So anything you put on your body, you cannot not know that it goes to your entire body. It does not stay localized. Circling back to the overarching concern with deodorant ingredients is that deodorants and antiperspirants can sometimes actually contribute to the body odor over time due to their impact on your skin's microbiome and sweat glands. Here's why. They can lead to the destruction of the skin's microbiome, which I think is funny. Everything's about the microbiome these days, isn't it? But it is. The entire world is a delicate balance of bacteria, which makes up a microbiome. So whether that is a plant microbiome or your body or your gut or your skin, there is a microbiome that is a very delicate balance in our bodies. So your skin is home to a natural balance of bacteria. These bacteria help maintain healthy skin, and they control the odor by preventing the overgrowth of odor-causing species. However, if you have antibacterial agents like previously I said triclosan, which is often found in antibacterial hand stuff. I hate that stuff. But triclosan and alcohol and deodorants kill both the good and the bad bacteria, disrupting the entire microbiome. And this can allow odor-causing bacteria to dominate, leading to stronger smells over time. Synthetic fragrances and other ingredients can irritate the skin, further disrupting the natural bacterial balance or the microbiome. So, as we discussed, antiperspirants work by using aluminum compounds to block sweat glands temporarily. Over time, some people may notice that their sweat glands overcompensate when they're not blocked, leading to increased sweating when they stop using antiperspirants. And sweat helps detoxify your body. So blocking that sweat can lead up to that buildup of toxins in your skin, which might contribute to a stronger body odor. Which means that a regular use of deodorants and antiperspirants can create a cycle of dependency. Frequently applying leaves chemical residues that can mix with the sweat, causing a unique and sometimes unpleasant smell. And prolonged use of certain ingredients may irritate the skin, leading to inflammation that makes odor-causing bacteria actually thrive. So you become completely dependent upon the need for deodorant. So, if you're on the edge of your seat and you are ready to take a leap to transition to a more natural solution, listen to this. A 2019 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives found that people who switched to natural deodorants had lower levels of synthetic chemicals in their urine, which suggests that reducing exposure to these ingredients can be beneficial. Remember, all of this started for me with baby steps. I'm taking you back to not getting overwhelmed. I wanted to reduce chemicals that I was putting on and around my body. And if a study has proven the reduction in chemicals simply by changing out deodorant, one product, what other amazing benefits are we providing to our body if we continue to take out and replace one product at a time? And for me, one more product that is not blocking my endocrine system, which the endocrine system is your thyroid, in an effort to get my thyroid back to peak performance, that is a win for me. I am constantly trying to change because everything, I said this probably on my first or second episode, and I'm saying it here on number 17, it seems that everything I put on my body is an endocrine blocker. So why would my thyroid be working properly? So I will link a step-by-step guide to help you transition to natural deodorants to manage body odor naturally. I'll also include recipes if you want to go big and create your own deodorant. It's kind of fun, actually. I did it for a while. You can buy empty applicators and make your own deodorant. I'll also include those recipes that I'm about to discuss with you through the transition to help you get through the transition smoothly so you don't feel like you're shooting fireballs out your armpit. And I'll also include recommendations for quality products that are easy to find online. It's a great little resource. But first, you have to understand the process and what you're getting into so that you can stick with it and don't give up. So when you're switching to natural deodorants, your body goes through a detox phase as your sweat glands and skin have to have time to adjust. And quite honestly, they have to have time to heal from all of the nasty chemicals and metals that we've put into our bodies. This phase could last anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. I would say mine took about 2 weeks and involves increased sweating and odor. But I promise you, it is temporary. You have to know that it's temporary. So in the interim, when you're sweating bullets and you're detoxing all this nasty stuff, you want to be sure that you have something handy to soothe the burn or to, if you have to go in public, have a natural option. And there are a lot of really easy natural options. Number one, first, you detox under your arms. Detoxing helps remove the buildup of the chemicals from conventional deodorants and reset your skin's microbiome. So by doing that, you stop using the deodorant. If any of the potentially harmful ingredients are in yours, I went cold turkey, and Heather suggested I used a product. It was by Lush called Silky Underwear. It's a powder that soothes the burn in my armpits, but I will say it was a little awkward to apply. So I researched a few other ideas to get you through the difficult part. Of course, I'm so excited because in my research, I found 2 of my favorite detoxing products that I've used for other ways to detox as well. So I know they're totally legit. The first one is a bentonite clay mask. I promise you this is going to be in the resource so you don't have to take notes. But this is a type of clay that is derived from naturally occurring volcanic ash sediment. Bentonite clay is one of the most effective and powerful healing clays and has been traditionally used to assist in mineral deficiencies and to help bind toxins, making them more soluble. I'm linking that up for you too. That's from organicauthority.com. So you can make a bentonite clay mask and you mix a tablespoon of bentonite clay with, I just say equal parts, but a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water just to form a paste, and you apply it to your underarms and you leave it on for 10 to 15 minutes. So take a bath, put it on, and then rinse it off with warm water. Do this 2 to 3 times a week during your transition, and it'll help draw out those toxins, and maybe it'll make it go faster. I wish I had known about that way back when I did this. Another idea is you can use apple cider vinegar. Dilute 1 part apple cider vinegar with 2 parts of water. Dab to your underarms daily after showering. Apple cider vinegar, its job is to balance your pH, so it'll prevent that bacterial overgrowth. And you can use, just put like a spray bottle. I've done, I put a spray bottle in my shower and I spray my armpits or spray all over you. We should actually get to a point where we don't need soap. I know, I'm not there yet. But the apple cider vinegar, I want to tell you, you think that when you walk into your bathroom that you smell like apple cider vinegar because the whole bathroom does. For whatever reason, you personally do not smell like apple cider vinegar. I put it to the test and I made my husband sniff me to make sure that is not what I smelled like, because you walk into the bathroom and you're like, whew, knocked over by the apple cider vinegar smell. Another great option is to use witch hazel. It's a natural astringent that can reduce inflammation and kill bacteria. You just simply dab it into your underarms with a cotton pad. And you can also use aloe vera gel to cool it, to moisturize the skin. There's lots of options that you can do in the meantime while you are detoxing. But while you are detoxing, you do not, for any reason, go back to your old deodorant. This is a lifetime change. Do not go back to the old stuff, because how crazy that when you're going through this detox, everything you're going through is not by what you're putting on to soothe it. It's by what you're not putting on your body and what is detoxing appropriately outside of your body. So choosing the right natural deodorant. Again, this will be in your resource, but opt for products with simple natural ingredients like baking soda. It neutralizes odor. Some people might be sensitive to baking soda, so got to be careful with that. But apple cider vinegar, it neutralizes odor. Activated charcoal, it absorbs your toxins and moisture, so it'll keep you dry. A lot of people like to use essential oils because they have to have a smell. They provide a natural fragrance and antibacterial properties like tea tree oil or lavender, eucalyptus, those kind of oils. Or you need to pay attention to managing your odor naturally. Number 1, tons and tons of water. Stay hydrated. I think we talked about being hydrated with my favorite product, hydration, in an earlier podcast. Watch your diet. Avoid odor-triggering foods like garlic, onions, and heavily processed items. For me, I love garlic and onions, and I naturally attract bugs. So in the summer, I love to eat garlic and onions for that purpose, but definitely avoid heavily processed items. They're terrible for us and they just muck up our whole system. Increase your intake of leafy greens. Citrus fruits are really, really good, and herbs. Of course, here we are again, witch hazel. Coconut oil, you can apply a thin layer to moisturize and combat the bacteria in your armpits. So as you're detoxing, you need to remember to be patient and be persistent. It may take time for your body to adapt during this phase. Reapply the natural deodorants as needed. You may have to stick it in your purse, take it to work with you, put it in the diaper bag. You can reapply a natural deodorant or witch hazel or coconut oil or whatever feels best under your armpits. But wear breathable fabrics. Make sure that you're wearing cotton and reduce the sweat and odor buildup. And then just kind of watch, monitor, and adjust is the title. But try switching to a different natural deodorant if you don't like the first one you try. Everyone has different needs and their body responds differently to different products. I don't like certain applications. Like, I don't want to rub my deodorant on with my hands. But you, like I said before, you can buy empty applicators. If you have a certain one that you like, you can put it in that applicator and then you can put it on that way. You can go through making your own product and you can get a roll-on, same idea. I've done that before, and actually it's kind of fun to make your own product. You can kind of feel like you have a little lab going on. But there's quite a few great options in the market now, even as the demand is increasing, as people are becoming more aware of the potential harmful effects of these ingredients. The first product that I tried crumbled when I used it, so I didn't like it. So I tried another one, and I'll link up my favorite products that I use. I buy three or so at a time, and I rotate through them just so I don't build up a tolerance to one or the other. But be sure to use your Yuka app, like we've talked about in a previous episode, when purchasing your products. The best part about the app is that if your product scores poorly, it recommends other products, and they're not being funded to make those suggestions. So you can trust it. I trust it. So having those 3 different deodorants at a time, I like it. And then I can try and figure out which one I like, which one, next time maybe I won't buy that one, but I'll try another new one. So I'm always rotating until I find my favorites, and I kind of have 2 top favorites right now. That third one is still out there. But detoxing from aluminum and chemicals, it might take time, and it definitely takes patience, but it's a worthwhile step if you're looking to make a cleaner, healthier choice for your body. The most important factor to remember is to always listen to your body. If you grab a friend and go Thelma and Louise on detoxing your armpitties, what works for one of you may not work for the other. So always, always listen to your body, watch your skin, and do what works best for you. Have a great day, and here's to some clean and fresh-smelling armpits. One of the most significant additions to my daily routine was a clean, safe, USDA organic, high-quality CBD oil. Please know, not all CBD is the same. This family-owned company in North Carolina changed my life, allowing me to get off opiates and live life without pain from surgeries, creaky joints after workouts, or gardening. It's a mind-blowing natural step to decrease discomfort, improve mood, help with sleep, prevent or slow future age-related annoyances, and many other benefits. You can check out my website at pennysampler.com, which includes $10 off your first order. To be clear, having Crohn's, I've never smoked, I don't drink alcohol, or ever been high. This is a reputable option that I'm incredibly passionate about sharing. If you would like personal assistance with selecting the products, please fill out the simple health assessment quiz in the show notes, and I will be in touch with you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you take 30 seconds to leave a review and share it with a friend? It helps me help someone else, and reviews are the best way to do that. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll meet you back here for another episode next week.